Welcome to Rogers Center. The Blue Jays won the opener of this three-game series against Houston to improve their record to 4-4 for the season. Bo Porter, the manager of the Astros, out talking with the umpires before the start of this game. The Astros out-hit the Blue Jays 9-5 in last night's game, but the Blue Jays won 5-2. Mark Burley improved to 2-0 on the season. Bo Porter, in his second full season, is happy to have a very talented young lineup. Dexter Fowler makes his first start of the series. 6 hits, 5 runs scored in the first 4 games. He came into the game as a pinch hitter in last night's game. Presley, Castro, Altuve, and then Chris Carter. 29 home runs last season, a tied for 11th in the American League. Carter is a threat. He has yet to homer this season for Houston. They are set to take on Brandon Morrow, and Morrow has not faced the Astros since 2011.
How about this? Bo Porter is still out there talking with the umpires because the Blue Jays have not taken the field, and I guarantee you it's about that play at the plate last night.
Well, Bo Porter actually called to Tony La Russa, who's involved with the rulemaking. And now you can see that's Hunter Wendelstedt, who is animated, and they're talking about that play at the plate. No question about it. I spoke to Bo Porter about it, and Tony La Russa's response was, we have to rethink the play with the infield drawn in, and we expect to have a memo within a week, and this is the controversial play.
There's a big difference on infield in and play at the plate and a base hit with a runner at second base, and there's going to be a play at the plate, and that's what they were discussing. That's what Tony La Russa said. And when you talk about a memo going out to Major League Baseball, they're going to tweak that a little bit, I have a feeling.
Yeah, they sure are. And Bo, I spoke to Bo, and he made the phone call last night to Tony La Russa, who's been involved with this all along with Joe Torre. And the umpire's discretion is in play on home runs, home plate collisions, and record keeping, balls and strikes, and that. So when Bo Porter came out, he said, I want you to review the play. What the umpires did was they reviewed safer out, and he was clearly out. There was never any doubt about that. But they don't review that play as far as blocking the plate, and a manager can't request that. He just says review the play, and then the umpire has to make the determination. But another flaw in the system is these umpires on the field don't rule. It's the umpires that review the replay in New York.
And I asked John Gibbons clearly, do you feel in your mind infield in, play at the plate is different than a play with a runner rounding third with a full head of steam, play at the plate? And he says absolutely, they got to do something about that rule.
Yeah, and it sounds like they're going to. And by the conversation I had with Bo Porter, he said Tony La Russa said you can expect a memo within a week. Dave Tremblay is the bench coach, and he managed Porter in the minor leagues with the Cubs, and they've got a great relationship. It goes back for a long time, but it's an ongoing thing, and we're going to see some tweaks throughout the course of this first season.
Brandon Morrow coming off a loss to the Rays, in which he allowed 4 earned runs over 5 innings. He's looking for his first win since May 23rd of last season. Injuries limited to Brandon. Just 54 1/3 innings in 2013. 10 starts, which is the fewest of his career in a season.
Brandon Morrow, his Tampa Bay, lasted 5 innings in his first start of the season. This is a completely different lineup than he faced back in 2011. A lot of turnover here. Dexter Fowler in his first season in the American League. He played from 2009 through 2013 with the Colorado Rockies. He's a switch hitter, batting left-handed against Morrow, and there's a strike, and we are underway.
And if you're not careful with Dexter Fowler, he can hurt you with the long ball. Reminds me a lot of Devon White. When he came over here to Toronto, he can get you very quickly early in the game if you're not careful.
Morrow is ahead 0-2. Going to be interesting to watch the difference in the strike zone last night. It was very conservative, and Jerry Lane is the crew chief. He's behind the dish tonight. Cut on and missed. A 3-pitch strikeout for Brandon Morrow. Defensively, couple of changes for the Blue Jays. In the outfield, it's the same. Cabrera, Rasmussen, Bautista. On the infield, that's where it's different. Lori's at third. Ryan Goins gets to start at shortstop. Meiser Astros. A couple of nice defensive plays last night. Edwin Encarnacion is the first baseman. Deanna Navarro's done a good job behind the plate.
Ryan Goins at shortstop, making his second start there this year. He's got 3 starts over at second base. He gets the call tonight to play short.
Alex Presley, he is playing in right field tonight. Presley has 30 career starts in right. He's primarily a left fielder. Takes it upstairs, and after 3 straight strikes to Dexter Fowler, Morrow has fallen behind.
One of the things that Brandon had problems with in that first game against Tampa, his first start of the season, inconsistency, I think, within the strike zone. Threw a lot of pitches, 87 in 5 innings. And he's got plenty of fastball, 96 miles an hour, but he's got to have quick innings.
That's a great point, and there is quite a difference between command and control. If you have control, you'll throw strikes. If you have command, you'll throw quality strikes.
Where you want to, where you want to do it, and that was just not there. A little bit inconsistent with his fastball.
3-0, and there's one right on the inside corner. 3-1. Blue Jays anxious to get on a bit of a roll. Morrow with a chance to put the Jays up 2 games to none in this series. Here's the 3-1 to Presley. Strike 2. Fowler and Presley are the only 2 Astros in this lineup that have faced Morrow in the past. That's the catcher and the third hitter, Jason Castro, on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Got him. What a slider. All the way back from 3-0. He racks up his second strikeout.
You know, I think if I'm hitting, I'm striking out too. 3-0, he throws 2 fastballs. I'm sitting on a fastball first inning. He pulls a string. How about that? Little breaking ball, just get it close to the strike zone. You know the hitter's thinking, number 1, fastball. He swings right over the top. A good start for Morrow tonight.
This Astro team, they are prone to strike out. Jason Castro just 2 for 20 in the early going. There's a breaking ball in there as Morrow gets ahead.
I'll tell you, if he gets that pitch over, throws that breaking ball over for a strike like that, it could be a long night for...
It's going to be a rough night for Houston.
Yeah.
Castro hit .276 a year ago in 120 games. Well, there's a changeup as well. All of a sudden, everything is zeroed in for Morrow.
Boy, that is the split right there. Throws it like a split grip, and it's got good movement on it there. That's his first one tonight.
Morrow ahead, 0-2. Bounce that splitter in the dirt, 88 miles an hour, and that is a change of pace. He uses that split grip to steal some of the velocity off of that pitch, and the idea is to get the hitters out in front. Trying to go upstairs, made a mistake with it, left it right out over the middle, but what Castro can do is foul it back.
You know, the pitch difference between a fastball and that changeup, you won about 10 or 12 miles per hour, and you just said that split was 88 miles an hour. Well, he got his 10 miles an hour difference in the fastball. That one was 98.
Another 98-mile-an-hour heater in a tough spot. How about that start for Brandon Morrow? He strikes out the side and dials it up a bit. This last pitch to Jason Castro, 98. Obviously had something in his eye, got it washed out, and there's some of those Astros hitters on the other side said you should have done that at the start of the game.
Or they're saying, bring that Visine over here. Morrow's on his A game.
So the Astros strike out 3 times in their half of the inning. Let's check out the lineup for the Blue Jays. Melky Cabrera topped the order, 2 home runs, 12 RBIs, and 17 career games against Houston, including a home run in last night's game. And how about Deanna Navarro in his first year with the Blue Jays? In his last 5 games, he's gone 6 for 20. And he's got a couple of RBIs, and he's done a terrific job. A couple of key hits in last night's game, and he has yet to strike out.
And that was the book on him. He gives you good at-bats. Lucas Harrell will make his second start tonight. Lasted just 3 innings, and he was roughed up by the Angels, allowing 5 runs, 7 hits. This is his first career start versus the Blue Jays. He has faced him before in a relief role.
Harrell will turn 29 years old in June, and he is set. There's the first pitch, and that's his bread and butter right there, that sinking fastball. If he keeps it down in the zone, keeps the ball on the ground, he could have a good night.
Yeah, lively 2-seam sinker right there. When it's on, lots of ground balls.
So what's your game plan if you're Melky Cabrera?
Don't change anything. First of all, I mean, he is locked in right now. We were talking about it in the opening, about how he's not missing pitches. You don't see him check swing. You don't see him swing through a lot of pitches so far in this hot streak. With the sinker, though, he's got the ability to go the other way.
Breaking ball pulled on the ground. Good hop for Mark Krause at first base. 1 down. Defensively, with a sinker baller, you got to think a lot of ground balls. In the outfield is Grossman, Fowler, and Alex Presley. A lot of good speed in the outfield. Matt Dominguez is a Gold Glove caliber third baseman. Up the middle, it's VR and Altuve. Krause gets the start at first base tonight. His third start at first this season, and Jason Castro, the All-Star from a year ago.
Just 2 errors this season by the Astros. They're catching it, and this guy in center field was a great pickup. He's got a lot of speed, could cover a lot of ground out there. He missed the 4-game series versus the Angels. Just getting back in the lineup for the Astros.
He had a stomach virus. He was in the hospital in Houston for a night. He said he didn't want to stay in the hospital too long. He's got a 3-month-old baby, and he wanted to get home to be with his family. And he's brought his family to Toronto with him. Meiser Asturias. Boy, he's off to a good start. He's 8 for 19 for the season. And he's had equal success from both sides of the plate.
Hasn't been an easy out so far this season. Great average.
Stay hot, Meiser. His 9th hit of the season comes with 1 out and sets the table for Bautista.
That's how you're going to have to hit the sinker, I think, if you're a left-handed batter tonight. Just stay on that pitch and try and hit the ball the other way. That was textbook hitting off the sinker.
Jose Bautista will step in. Bautista homered in his first at bat in last night's game. A 2-out solo home run put the Jays out in front early. Right at the bottom of the strike zone with that sinker. This lineup is loaded with hitters that have done well against Lucas Harrell, albeit not many at bats. The lineup tonight is 8 for 17 against Harrell, including 1 for 2 so far.
Pitched in relief against the Blue Jays here in this ballpark last year. And he had a rough one last year in terms of 1-loss records. 17 losses last year for Harrell.
6 and 17, 32 starts. He had a 5.86 ERA. He was originally drafted by the Chicago White Sox. He was a 4th-round pick in 2004 out of Missouri. Houston claimed him on waivers in July of 2011. Bautista shoots it down the right field line. Cabrera Excuse me, Astros is around second. He's headed for third. He's being waved home. Altuve has it. He'll go to third. Bautista stops, and he's safe at second. What a piece of hitting by Jose Bautista.
Well, you can say that again. Crosses up the defense. They've got 3 infielders on the left side of the infield against the sinker ball pitcher. The problem is he throws the ball down and away. And instead of trying to hook that ball, watch what Jose does. He goes down and gets it. And that's going to be an RBI every single time because the defense has really pulled around for him to pull. Look at how far the right fielder Presley has to go to get the ball and how long it takes him to get the ball back to the cutoff man. And by that time, the Astros score standing 1-0 Blue Jays.
Edwin Encarnacion waves at that pitch inside. That's the pitch he wanted to throw to Bautista, but they missed all the way across the plate. Astros scores the first run of the ball game. Bautista now with 6 RBIs. Blue Jays took a 1-0 lead in the first last night. Hit hard on the ground. Big hop for Villar. Takes his time and throws across the diamond for the out. 2 down.
Well, this 28-year-old right-hander, Lucas Harrell, let's take a look at the pitch usage from last season. Fastball 70% of the time, and it's a great changeup. He's got a good curveball, a change, and a cutter. That fastball, it's going to dive on him. He's got a great cutter and a great sinker. It needs to work on quick tempo, I think, when he is out on that mound. Seems to take his time just a little bit. Curveball's more of a slurvy type of slider. He's got great life on that sinker. And I think, watching him, he's got more life when he backs off of it a little bit. When he throws through the sink, I think that's when he gets into problems.
Adam Lynn batting with 2 outs. Well, that's a good point. And oftentimes you talk about sinker ballers, they get better in the middle innings. When they get a little bit of that adrenaline worn off, they start to tire a bit. And they lose a couple of miles an hour, but they pick up the movement.
Yeah, we'll watch. I think he's better between 88 and 91 miles an hour with that sinker.
Adam Lynn takes a couple down and away. It's 2-0. Navarro is on deck, switch hitting catcher. This can be a very potent lineup and good balance. Cabrera, Navarro, and Astros all switch hitters. There's a base hit into center field. Bautista's coming around third. Here's the throw from Fowler. It is offline and late. Lynn picks up the RBI. It's 2-0 Jays.
You know, sometimes you can overshift and it will cost you. Teams are really shifting a lot, and that's the shortstop on the other side of second base. And Lynn crosses him up, shoots it where he should have been standing, and gets himself an RBI.
Yeah, that's an unusual defense. If you're going to throw him sinkers down and away, you wouldn't expect that he would pull the ball, and he didn't. Bautista scores the second run of the game.
Adam Lynn is not a pull hitter. He can use the whole field.
Deanna Navarro. We mentioned Navarro has not struck out in 28 at bats. Put the ball in play. His on-base percentage doesn't necessarily reflect that, but he has good at bats. He had a pair of RBI doubles in last night's game. Finished up 2 for 4. Blue Jays really haven't started swinging bats well. Coming into this game, they were hitting as a team just .212. Their on-base percentage was under 300 at .286.
We've got a couple of guys who are hot, but they need to get a couple more. Then it becomes real fun when you lengthen out that lineup.
Well, Bautista has the home runs, and he picked up the double. And the RBI now has 6 RBIs, but his average just 280. Encarnacion's getting close. Kevin Seitzer has to be pleased with Lynn's base hit going back up the middle and crossing up the defense. And now he's talking things over with Colby Erasmus. This is off the end of the bat. Matt Dominguez has time and throws out Navarro. The inning is over. But the Blue Jays score 2 runs on 3 hits, and Jose Bautista gets a tough pitch down and away. Head stays on it. He drives it down the line in right for an RBI double.
Brought to you by the 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. And by Home Hardware, homeowners helping homeowners with expert advice.
Welcome back inside Rogers Center. The Blue Jays enjoy a 2-0 lead. Houston batting in the top of the second. Brandon Moyle struck out the side in a very dominant first inning tonight. Maybe the most impressive of the 3 strikeouts, the fact that he struck out Alex Presley after he was behind 3-0.
And threw him a 3-2 breaking ball. I think that was the impressive part. All 3 strikeouts swinging. That's a good sign.
Second baseman Jose Altuve goes after that first pitch. Big cut. Altuve hit second in last night's game. Tonight he's the cleanup hitter. He finished up 3 for 5 in the game. A couple of singles, a double, and an RBI. Hit hard, backhanded by Astros at second. 1 down. Brandon Morrow is a fastball pitcher. And in his first start, he might not have used enough fastballs to be most effective.
Yeah, we were talking about that in that last start, that he needs to establish that early. He only threw it about half the time. Combined with the slider and the splitter, I thought he threw too many splitters against Tampa Bay. They're a team that likes to work the ball, see a lot of pitches. I think if you use your fastball, it sets everything else up.
Chris Carter in last night's game had a pair of doubles. He had a bloop double down the right side, came in to score the tying run in the top of the second. Morrow evens the count at a ball and a strike. Brandon Morrow, 3 strikeouts in the first inning. His career high in strikeouts is 17. That came back in 2010 against Tampa Bay. Boy, that's a wicked pitch. That's that changeup with late movement.
Well, I know it's early. He's only thrown 19 pitches, but right now, from what we have seen, he's got 3 pitches that he can throw over for strikes. And that spells bad news for the Astros.
Carter gets a piece of it to stay alive. This Astros team, of course, struck out a lot last year, and Chris Carter, he struck out 212 times. Well, Porter knows they're a young team. He wants them to be aggressive, but they're going to have to They're in the strike zone a little more consistently. 1-2. Cut on and missed. Carter strikes out. 2 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Thank you, Jamie. In that game, what's new? Koji Uehara. 1 inning, 1 strikeout, and a save. Boy, what a year he had last year. Andrew Miller picks up the win in relief for Boston. Lexi Ogando takes the loss in relief of Robbie Ross.
You mentioned Uehara. That was their 3rd choice as a closer last year for the Red Sox. Do you think it was their year? Things worked out for them.
Everything broke, didn't it?
Good team. Did a good job.
Mark Krause looking for his first hit of the season. He may have picked a bad night to start.
Still looking to get on the board.
Mara has struck out 4 of the 5 batters he's faced tonight. 0-2. Strike 3 call. Brandon Morrow off to a terrific start. He's retired 6 straight to start the game and has 5 strikeouts. He paints the outside corner with another terrific fastball. The Blue Jays here in the bottom of the second, and Brett Laurie and Colby Rasmus are both struggling to get going here in the early part of the season. But the thing about this is you don't have many at-bats and you can jump in a hurry, but you can see Brett Laurie just 3 for 29, a 103 average, and Rasmus is 2 for 27. Bit of a slow start, and I don't care who you are, you all have pride and you want to get that batting average up where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you start putting pressure on yourself and grinding that bat up there and worrying about it. John Gibbons went to him and said, hey, you guys don't have to worry about it. Your place in the lineup is secure. Just get out there and start hitting.
And that's easy for a manager to say, and you know, you'd like to be able to say, okay, well, I wasn't worried about it at all. But you look up at that scoreboard and you go, I'm hitting 103. It gets to you. I don't care who you are. Now misses with the breaking ball. It's a ball on the strike. Brett Laurie got out to a similar start to last year. He didn't start the regular season until April 16th because of an injury. And then when you're going bad, it seems like every pitch is a perfect pitch. At the knees, down and away.
Like that last one right there, right on the corner, down and away. Not much you can do with that one. Plus, the ball looks about the size of an aspirin coming up there. You're like, okay, I want to hit the middle of it. You can't even see it. But you battle. And you battle, you get a blooper into the outfield, to get you going, and all of a sudden your mindset changes.
That's that good sinking fastball. He got one in a good spot, and that's the first strikeout of the night for Lucas Harrell.
Good sinking action on that pitch. And Brett swings right over the top. Look at the rotation on that ball. Going down. And that's how you open up the strike zone when the batter has 2 strikes. Get it out of the strike zone. He's got to be in swing mode.
Colby Rasmus in the 8th spot tonight. He takes a strike. We talked about the strike zone was liberal tonight. Jerry Lane's the crew chief behind the plate. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I love it.
I think it's good for the game. I like to see that liberal strike zone. It puts everybody in an aggressive state of mind.
And hitters don't mind.
As long as it's consistent.
As long as it's consistent.
Rasmus drills this to right. That's going to get down. Off the wall. Alex Presley plays it off a hop, and Colby Rasmus cruises into second with his 3rd double of the season. 3 hits, all have been doubles.
You know, this might be a good matchup for Colby Rasmus, the type of pitcher on the mound tonight for the Astros, a sinker ball pitcher. If he doesn't get it down and away, that's going to go right to the barrel of Colby Rasmus, and he shows you what he can do with that low pitch.
Well, you remember Kevin Seitzer and Rasmus were having a long discussion in between innings before he came to the plate, and it's going to take a game or 2 before everything starts to click. Number 9 hitter is Ryan Goins. He too is off to a slow start, just 1 for 16. 1 down, Blue Jays up 2-0. Goins playing at shortstop tonight. Managers will go to the younger players especially and say, just relax, would you? We know you can hit. You've hit before. You hit last year when you were with us.
Well, what's the first thing that happens to a young player when they get off to a bad start?
They want to hit it harder.
They want to hit it harder, and they start worrying about, whoa, I might get sent down, or this might happen, or that might happen. Go out there and play the game. Just go out there and have fun. Work with your hitting coach. Try to learn something new every day.
Goins hit .252 in 34 games at the end of last season.
This was the team he got his first big league hit off of, wasn't it?
He began his career with an 8-game hit streak. August 23rd, he got that first hit. Well, they had a pickoff play on, and Rasmus was flat-footed. Harrell didn't pick up on it.
That looked familiar, didn't it?
Picked off Bautista in last night's game.
Jonathan VR with the daylight play, and Harrell was looking at him and then turned to home.
Like you don't believe what you've just seen. Bautista got picked off in the 6th at second base. 1-2 to Goins. Off the plate inside. And everybody wants to get off to a good start. Pitchers want to get off to a good start. Mark Burley's done that for the Blue Jays. He's 2-0. Of course, Cabrera and Bautista have gotten off to a good start with the power. Meister Astros has 9 hits already. And Brandon Moore is off to a great start tonight. Ball is hit into center field. Fowler ranging back. And he makes the catch, running away from the infield. Rasmus tags and moves to third. Goins hit it hard, but Fowler ran it down in center. So now with Rasmus at third, there are 2 outs, and Melky Cabrera. Can't believe he doesn't have a hit yet.
It's only his second at bat. Give him a chance. Huh?
He's been so hot. Melky Cabrera had 30 hits in spring training, more than anybody in baseball during the spring. And he's off to a decent start, batting .306 after grounding out to first.
You know, I think Melky would be the first guy to say, hey, I'm not really a power hitter. You know, I'm just getting pitches that are up in the strike zone, and I'm not missing them. Every one of them, off-speed pitches that were up, and he's hit them hard. His career high in home runs is 18.
That came in 2011 when he was playing in Kansas City with the Royals, and at that time, of course, his hitting coach was Kevin Seitzer. Tough pitch. Hitters have to know by now that you can't take those borderline pitches. Jerry Lane has established his strike zone early.
Well, if you get one out there, punch it the other way. You'll
like
have an
Bautista.
RBI. Yeah.
Cabrera drove in 87 runs in 2011. He had career highs in runs scored, hits, doubles, homers, and RBIs, all while Seitzer was his hitting coach. He reaches for that one, but hits it right to Matt Dominguez. The Blue Jays leave a runner at third, but will head to the third with a Blue Jays leading 2-0. Brandon Morrow retired 6 straight to start.
By the 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead, and Colby Rasmus getting a big attaboy from his hitting coach for that double. Colby hit a line drive double at the base of the wall in right field. He has 3 hits. And all 3 of those hits have been doubles.
That's a good feeling, isn't it? When you get a base hit like that, and then you meet your hitting coach in the dugout, and he's got some words of encouragement, and slaps you on the back, make you just feel good.
You know, even if you've played 5 or 6 years like Rasmus, you need that feedback. Okay, that's what we're working on. You did it. That's exactly what it should feel like. And, you know, you've been there. I've been there. We've all gone through stretches where you have no idea what you're doing, and you need to have some success and then get the feedback from the coach to say that's what we're looking for.
And it's a good feeling. You say, okay, I'm on the right track. And hitting, a lot of it is right between your ears.
Matt Dominguez, the third baseman, he had a sac fly and a double in last night's game. Finished up 1 for 3 with that ribby. Dominguez hit 21 home runs a year ago. Good-looking young player, guy that's really found his defensive position at third. He can pick it at third base. Ball and a strike.
You know, he's got some power, and he had a good year with the home run bat, but he did not hit his first home run until May the 11th. Got off to a slow start and finished with a flurry.
He was formerly #1 pick of the Florida Marlins back in 2007. Spoils a pretty good pitch. Reached for it and fouls it into the seats.
Now that pitch right there put fastball in the mind of the right-handed hitter. He might see a breaking ball right here.
Tell you what, the way he reached for it, I might think about an inside fastball. Here comes the slider. Off the end of the bat. Morrow was late breaking off the mound, but he covers in time to retire Dominguez. Encarnacion was way off the bag at first base. Morrow had a momentary hesitation, but recovered in time. Watch the pitcher.
Slider. Anything to the right side, you got to go over there. Blue Jays pitchers had PFP practice this afternoon. Brandon Morrow starting tonight, obviously, was not out there. But that's pitchers fielding practice. Anything hit to the right side of the infield, you got to get over there.
I know what happened with Morrow on that play. He was surprised anybody hit the ball. He struck out 5 of the first 6 guys he faced. He said, oh, he hit one. I got to go to first. Robbie Grossman is the left fielder again tonight. He takes one upstairs. Grossman is just 2 for 29 so far this season. Grossman had a couple of different stints last year. There's a bouncing ball. Big hop for Astros. 2 up, 2 down. Brandon Morrow has been kind of a teaser throughout his career. It makes you think, okay, he's really going to find it this year. He did that in 2012. The minimum of 120 innings pitched. He was the best at holding down the hitters. They hit just 214 against him, along with Jared Weaver. Verlander, Darvish, and Price. That's a pretty good top 5 right there.
Yeah, that's good company to be in. Brandon Morrow had 21 starts that year. 3 shutouts, if you remember. He was dominant in those 3 games. We did all of those games. Big strikeout games. He only gave up 98 hits in 124 innings that season.
Number 9 hitter is the shortstop, Jonathan Villar. Two and 0. When Morrow has fallen behind, as he did to the second hitter of the game, he's been able to come back. He fell behind 3-0 to Alex Presley and struck him out. The 96 upstairs.
He is being able to throw that fastball where he wants to. That has been by design so far. The first time through the lineup, Brandon Morrow has been able to climb the ladder with that fastball and get the Astros to swing at it.
'97. Packing a little bit extra mustard on that fastball tonight than he did against the Rays.
And with better command, throwing it where he needs to. Started 6 days ago, got an extra day of rest.
The iron fouls it out of play. Well, the Blue Jays have shaken up their rotation just a bit. Originally, it was Dustin McGowan scheduled to start tomorrow. John Gibbons has elected to get R.A. Dickey on his regular 5 days rest and split up McGowan and Morrow. Just don't really know what you're going to get in the early going, and you want to split those 2 guys out. Foul back. It has more to do with the bullpen than it does anything else. The fact that you don't want Morrow and McGowan back to back. Dickey, you expect to pitch deep into a game.
You said you're not sure what you expect from Morrow and McGowan. You know what to get from Dickey. He's your number 1. He's going to give you innings. He can give the bullpen rest just in case those 2 get knocked out early.
Cut on and miss. Villar strikes out. Brandon Morrow, first trip through the 9-man lineup. He's punched out 6. He's got everything working tonight, but the slider is wicked. It gets Villar to end the 3rd. 100 of the world's best magazines on your tablet. Baseball fans, sign up at nextissue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. So check it out. Nextissue.ca. Adam Lynn is popular. And they have copied that beer.
That was right on cue, bud.
Blue Jays will bat the top and bottom half of the third inning. They have a 2-0 lead. Scored 2 runs in the bottom of the first. Meiser Storis scored the first run of the ball game. He scored from first base on Bautista's RBI double. His single in the first, his 9th hit of the season. There are some guys that are off to great starts. Look around baseball and look at the early leaderboards, and it's really interesting. How about Jose Abreu, the Cuban free agent? He's got 11 RBIs. He and Chris Colabello of the Minnesota Twins lead the pack. They both have 11 driven in. And how about Justin Smoke? Everybody wanted to write off Justin Smoke of the Mariners. He's got 9 ribbies.
Yeah, you and I kept saying, hey, this guy might bust out sometime in his career. But the guy who just blows me away for a guy who's getting off to a good start, Emilio Bonifacio.
How about that?
I think he had 3 more knocks last night.
Bonifacio, of course, started the season last year with the Blue Jays. He had a rough go of it, but boy, oh boy, is he off to a good start this year with the Cubs.
Over 500. I mean, he's putting up Little League numbers.
Bounce back to the mound. Harrell makes a good play. When you throw that sinking fastball, you got to be a good fielder. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jonathan Scope, 21 years old, from Willemstad, Curaçao. And there are a host of those young players from Curaçao that are making an impact. Scope and Xander Bogaerts are the Red Sox. They played together for the Netherlands in the WBC. Anderson Simmons, the shortstop for the Braves. Interesting group of young players. Didi Gregorius.
Shortstop.
Jerks some profile with the Rangers.
There's another one.
He's hurt right now, but boy, there are a lot of talent.
And we get to see those Baltimore Orioles in a couple of days.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, if you like good hitting teams, it's a good thing.
Poor Matt Wieters is off to a great start. Has a hit tonight. He's hitting .393 after a disappointing season a year ago, and he's hitting 5th, right behind Adam Jones.
Did you see his throw the other day? I mean, he threw an absolute strike to get a would-be base stealer at Yankee Stadium yesterday. You couldn't throw it out there better.
Bautista pops it up over near the Astros dugout. Castro over, has room, makes the catch. 2 down. So with 2 outs, Edwin Encarnacion will come to the plate, and he has gotten better and better as the years have gone by.
How about that? His on-base percentage the last 4 seasons have all gone up each year. Last year 384. Not too shabby for a power hitter. When you talk about on-base percentage, you're usually not talking about a power hitter, but this guy can ride it out of the ballpark.
He reached base 4 times in last night's game. Had a single and 3 walks. As that tells me is he's starting to see the ball really well.
Looked like he was right on Harrell his first time up. Hit a hard ground ball right to the shortstop. Pretty soon we'll start to see some lift. Him getting the ball in the air.
Off the plate outside. Edwin down in St. Petersburg against the Rays. First 4 games, 1 for 16. But there are a lot of guys going to go into that ballpark and face that staff. going to have similar numbers. He lays off that breaking ball.
Yeah, they got the 4 top starters for the Rays. And you're in for a tough night whenever you face Tampa.
Adam Lynn has an RBI single already tonight. There's a high fly ball down the right side. Long run for Alex Presley, and he just won't get there. He was shaded over in the alley in right center, and he had about a mile to go to try to catch that pop foul. Well, of course, the Rays got some bad news. They put their young lefty Matt Moore on the disabled list with elbow discomfort, and the first tests were inconclusive, but the bad news is he's going to go see Dr. Andrews.
You never want to hear that, do you, if you're a pitcher? I got an appointment with Dr. Andrews.
Strike 3 call. Harrell strikes out Encarnacion. He bounces back with a 1-2-3. Bottom of the third. We'll head to the fourth. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. To a great start to his outing tonight. 9 straight retired. First time through the order. He racked up 6 strikeouts. The thing about Morrow is we have seen this act before, and you were talking about Morrow with a dominant stretch of games. It came back in 2011. May 3rd out in Anaheim against the Angels. He shut them out 5-0, allowed 3 hits in 9 innings, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 8. Then he faced the Mets on the 19th of May, beat them 2-0. 9 innings, 3 hits, a walk and 8 strikeouts, and he capped off that great stretch of games on the 6th of June in Chicago. Shut out the White Sox 4-0. 9 innings of 2-hit ball. That was quite a stretch he was on in May and June of 2011.
Boy, I remember talking to him after the one game in Anaheim, and he said, I could have shut my eyes and thrown pitches on the outside corner down and away. That's how on I was that night.
Dexter Fowler jumps back from an inside pitch. It's 2-0. At that time, the pitching coach was Bruce Walton, and Walton had worked long and hard trying to refine the delivery of Brandon Morrow, and boy, it really all came together for him. Fowler was a strikeout victim his first time up. There he takes a strike. Now 2-1. Up and away. Well out of the strike zone. Three balls and a strike to leadoff man Dexter Fowler. all the way back to the screen, and that'll be the first base runner of the night for Houston. A leadoff walk here in the fourth.
Throw that ball away. That one looked like it was a little slippery and nowhere near the strike zone.
Well, the thing to remember, it's just a 2-run ball game. Dexter Fowler is at first base. This team can run a bit. Houston, they will start the runners, try to create some movement, open up a hole on the infield. Fowler has a big lead, not running. Morrow misses again, up and away.
Yeah, he can run. 19 stolen bases last year for Fowler. Long strides. Again, it reminds me of Devon White, center fielder with long strides and a switch hitter.
Houston had a couple of steals in the last night's game. So far this season, they're 7 for 7. They've yet to be caught. Alex Presley drives it into center field. Rasmus is back. This ball is caught by Colby Rasmus. Rasmus got a good break on the ball. He ran it down in center. Fowler has to return to first.
He read the swing and the flight of the ball. Watch him in center field. As soon as the ball's hit, turn and start sprinting back. That's the first thing you want to do as an outfielder is turn your body and get a good read on that ball. And he went straight back to haul that ball in.
Jason Castro, strikeout victim his first time up. Morrow struck out the side in the first. Tried to check, he went around. Castro's 26 years old. He was drafted out of Stanford University. He was their only All-Star in 2013, and he was the first Astro catcher to make the All-Star team since Craig Biggio was the catcher for the All-Star team in '91.
Right here in Toronto. That's where the All-Star game was that year.
Castro had a knee injury at the end of the season last year, and that put him on the shelf at the end of the year. He's healthy, good to go again. He's a good leader behind the plate for them. So we mentioned a young leader, just 26 years old. Ball and a strike. Ground ball, base hit through the left side. Fowler going around second, breezes over to third. It's first and third. Jason Castro gets the first hit of the game off Brandon Morrow.
You were talking about his numbers last year. He set a lot of team records for a catcher. Yeah, with some power. This time he just takes that ball inside outs it between Goins and Laurie, the shortstop and the third baseman. No chance to get Fowler at third base. Got to keep the double play in order.
That's where you let the scoreboard dictate your strategy. Don't take a chance on throwing Fowler out. That might allow Castro to move in the scoring position in this 2-0 ball game. Jose Altuve, the second baseman, batting cleanup tonight. There's a first pitch in there for a strike.
This guy's had good at bats so far in this series. Altuve. He'll cut his swing down if he has to. Doesn't want to strike out here. He's going to want to try and shoot the ball the other way. Stay on it as long as possible.
Stayed on that pitch, and it was right on the outside corner. Altuve, just 23 years old. They turned 24 on May 6th. He's from Venezuela. He's now officially listed at 5'5". He's established himself, and he said, you know what, I'm just 5'5". He said, I have no reason to stretch it. Along the lines of Freddie Patek and Dustin Pedroia. He swings like a big man.
Yeah, he can play. You watch him around the bag at second base. He can play. He can hit. He's got an idea. He's got a game plan when he's in there. You can see him thinking right now what he wants to do. I think he's going to try and shoot one to right field.
Now, he hit it hard the first time, but right at the second baseman. 1-2. foul tip there, and Navarro was able to hold on. Altuve strikes out. That's a huge strikeout. First and third, less than 2 outs.
That is a big strikeout. You can get away with the breaking ball that hangs up like this one when the hitter is thinking down and away. Looked like Altuve raised up and just can't come up with that high breaking ball. This has been a problem for the Astros lately, hitting with runners in scoring position.
Last night they were 0 for 14 hitting with runners in scoring position. They stranded 10. That comes with inexperience. Get in these situations and you squeeze the sawdust out of the bat handle trying to deliver a big hit.
Hey, they had the right guy up there, I think. Altuve. Morrow just out-pitched him.
Dexter Fowler walked. He went to third base on the single by Castro with 1 out. Off-speed pitch. Carter was fooled. Morrow has plenty of weapons tonight. Great fastball as high as 98.
His slider is good, and he's throwing it for strikes. And his split change, you can see the split grip that he has. He sets it there. That ball's really moving.
Great job by Navarro. Well, that gives a pitcher an awful lot of confidence when he can throw that hard splitter in the dirt and the catcher squares it up and the runners have to hold their ground.
And he makes it look easy. Look at that. Move your feet. Get in front of it. Use any part of your body to keep that ball in front of you.
That was a great depiction of not wanting to catch it, just wanting to block it. He just used that glove as a shield. 2 balls and a strike, 2 down. Hard breaking ball. Well, Porter trying to get a little mojo working, has moved down to the far end of the dugout. Generally, a manager stands next to the bat rack. He stood there last night. His team was 0 for 14 with runners in scoring position. He can change his luck.
You got to change things up. They're hitting a .21 with runners in scoring position over the last 6 games.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Struck him out. Brandon Morrow got into trouble and pitched his way out of trouble. A couple more strikeouts. He's got 8 already, and we've just played 3.5 innings. Once again, it's that wicked slider. Get ready for the 2014 baseball season with MLB.TV. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in HD quality. Watch up to 4 games at once with multi-game viewing. Season subscriptions start at $129.99, so visit BlueJays.com for more details. Great way to keep up on all your favorite teams, check it out, MLB.tv. Brandon Morrow walked the leadoff man and then gave up a one-out single to Jason Castro, first and third. But he was able to strike out Altuve, the cleanup hitter, and then punch out Chris Carter for a second time. Morrow with 8 strikeouts through 4 innings. Adam Lind got an RBI single to center his first time up. Lind looks like he's about ready to go off. He's taking pitches with so much confidence. Suggests that he's really seeing the ball well.
Well, I like that he's in the lineup there against the left-hander yesterday. He's hot. You got to ride that hot streak for as long as you can.
Well, early in the season, I understand what managers are trying to do. They're playing their extra guys a couple of times. You just spent 6 weeks in spring training, and you don't want them to gather so much moss they forget what they did down in Florida. Lynn's going to DH. He's going to be the majority, get the majority of the at-bats as the DH. I think John Gibbons is pleased with where Lind is right now. He hit lefties well all spring long.
Got a lot of at-bats against the lefties. Blue Jays are facing a lot of left-handed pitchers. Another one tomorrow. It'll be 5 and 10 games for the Blue Jays to start the year.
Dallas Keuchel will wrap up the series for the Astros, the lefty. Len hits it off the end of the bat. That didn't have good wood, and he is retired on the fly ball to center. 2-0 Blue Jays. They scored a pair of runs in the first. Bautista and Lind with the RBIs. Gianna Navarro, the catcher. Navarro will have the start of tomorrow night's game off with R.A. Dickey starting. It'll be Josh Tolley behind the plate. Then Navarro will pick things up on Friday night in Baltimore. Josh Tolley, his last start, he picked up an RBI single and staked R.A. Dickey to an early lead. 2-0. Blue Jays won just 1 of 3 against the Yankees in the opener of this homestand. Won the first game last night 5-2. And after tomorrow night's game, they'll go out on a 9-game road trip.
Yeah, and we get to go outside for the first time this year.
Perfect. Friday night in Baltimore, and then a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday stop in Minneapolis. And oh, by the way, it's still winter in Minneapolis.
Yeah. What are we expecting? Did we hear today single digits in Minnie?
Drilled up the gap. That's going all the way to the wall. Navarro is around first. He's headed for second and will coast in with his 4th double of the season. That had great sound.
Boy, that ball's hit hard. Anytime you hit a line drive and it goes all the way to the wall, take a listen. You know you are right on top of that baseball. It's going to be extra bases for Navarro. Line drive, and it makes it all the way to the wall.
Hitters love to hear that distinct crack of the bat when you've squared it up. Navarro, as we mentioned, his 4th double of the season. Brett Lawrie takes the first pitch strike. Strike 2, just like we mentioned. When you're struggling at the plate, every pitch is perfect.
Yep. And there's nothing you can do about it except keep battling, keep seeing the ball foul off some of those tough pitches. And it seems like you walk up there and you step in the batter's box and it's 0-2.
Every time.
Every time.
And the guy, he could be struggling all night long, and he's going to make perfect pitches to you.
Remember, every time you're up there, you get one pitch to hit. You just can't miss it.
Change up in the dirt. It's funny you mentioned that. I asked that of Deanna Navarro Friday night in the opener against Tanaka. I said, what do you do against a guy you don't know much about? He goes, don't miss the fastball.
You're going to get one. Stay positive.
Off the plate outside. That's the old story about how do you hit a curveball. Don't miss the fastball.
Don't miss the fastball. Well, he's going to challenge Brett. You got to figure. He's going to try and get him right here, 2-2.
Kobe Rasmus on deck. He doubled in the second. He fought it off. They were trying to crowd him. That's where they went to strike him out back in the second. That sinking fastball on the inside corner. Rasmus lined a double up against the wall in right his first time up. Covering that outside edge. Laurie got to that pitch pretty effectively.
Yeah, that's a good sign right there. Foul off the tough pitches. And that was a tough one. Down and away, breaking ball. Stay with it. Look for another pitch. This is where I always found it really hard right here. He went outside, then inside, then back outside again. You can't really guess with them right now. You got to look for the baseball. Can't guess in or out.
Another good swing to spoil a good pitch. I used to talk to Yogi Berra all the time about his philosophy of hitting. He said, Yogi, what'd you do when you were at the plate? He said, I looked for the fastball till I got 2 strikes. Then what? He said, then I protected the plate. You don't hear that anymore.
No. Protected the plate. What's that?
Yeah, just protect the plate. Shorten up. 2-2 pitch. Bouncing ball. Dominguez deep at third across the diamond in time. Matt Dominguez sure-handed with a strong arm. Throws out Laurie. Navarro moved to third on the 5-3 putout.
That's a fine play right there. He got a good read on the ball and gets himself in the position. You see right there. Takes his time and throws it across the infield. One more time, the starting 9 for this team has not made an error this year for the Astros. Fielding the ball much better this season.
The Blue Jays position players have only committed 1 error. Bautista made an ill-advised throw in Tampa Bay. That's it. Kobe Rasmus takes a pitch upstairs. Rasmus, we mentioned his double in the second. Blue Jays lead at 2-0. Colby's got a free shot here. Count is in his favor. He can be selective, and you talked about the matchup. Harold pitches down, and that's where Rasmus is strong.
I don't know if he's even going to give him anything to hit here. You know, I would take my chances with the number 9 hitter.
Got a young hitter on deck in Ryan Goins, and I think you're right. Castro set up way off the plate outside.
Doesn't make sense, especially 3-0 here. Ooh.
Pretty good pitch. Tough one to swing at. 3-0. Goins flying out to center. His only time up. There's ball 4. So Rasmus has been aboard twice. First and third, 2 down. Enjoying those big comfy green chairs in the TV comfort zone are folks from Easter Seals, Ontario, courtesy of TD. Welcome to the ball game. Blue Jays are up 2-0 Hope you have a good night tonight. And yeah, that's you on TV. Ryan Goins, the shortstop tonight, drove a ball deep to center field, but Dexter Fowler made the play. Breaking ball in there as HOU gets ahead. Came right back with the breaking ball, and Goins chased a bad one. He's behind 0-2.
0-2 to the number 9 hitter. First and third. Be ready for anything.
Well, Navarro at third base, he's got to be alive for a ball in the dirt. They throw a couple breaking balls now. If the ball is in the dirt, chance to maybe it'll get away from the catcher. Have to anticipate that.
That was some definitive signs from the catcher, Castro, going out there to tell the infielders where they're going just in case Colby Rasmus takes off at first base, trying to steal a run.
Wanted the curveball, settled on the sinker. Missed down and away. Melky Cabrera's on deck. He has gone 0 for 2 so far against HOU. Blue Jays have scored 2 runs on 5 hits. The Astros no runs on just a single hit. Another curveball fouled off.
How about a 2-out hit right here? That'll certainly get the confidence going for a young player. Big situation.
Goins just 1 for 17. That one hit was an opposite field double. We had Anderson earlier in the homestand. Kevin Seitzer, of course, he knows what it is to deal with young hitters. He had a ton of them in Kansas City when he was their hitting coach.
Good ones, too, that are all coming into their own right now.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runners at the corners. The Astros have had trouble scoring runs, and every run is huge for them. Inside, now it's 2-2.
Yeah, every run that they keep off the board is huge for them because they have been struggling to score runs. They left runners on base in every inning but the 9th last night.
When the Astros score 2 or fewer runs so far this season, they're 0-5. They just can't afford to give up many. Off the end of the bat, high fly ball into shallow center. Dexter Fowler gets there. The inning is over. The Blue Jays a stranded pair. We've played 4. Jays have a 2-0 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn. On the Bases with Shai Davidi on Sportsnet.ca. Expert analysis and opinion on Canada's national team. The On the Bases with Shai Davidi. Now there's an old-fashioned jersey. That's the old Nolan Ryan Astros jersey. Also worn by Alan Ashby, who is here in the booth with the Astros, is their TV play-by-play guy. That's the jersey that Ashby wore when he played for Houston.
Those were the worst, weren't they? Oh my goodness.
They were colorful.
Yeah, the numbers, there was so much color on it, they had to put the numbers on the pants because they couldn't put it on the front of the jersey.
There were some goofy jerseys early on. There's Alan Ashby. Welcome back to Toronto, Alan. Of course, he was the radio partner of Jerry Howard. He is teamed up with Jeff Blum, the color analyst on the Astros TV network. They are here. We had a chance to chat with Alan. In fact, he came over after the second dominant inning of Brandon Morrow and said, could this be the night?
Has he been this dominant? He said, well, you saw that 17 strikeout game here in 2010.
Morrow retired the first 9 he faced tonight in order and struck out 6 of them. His Stores can't flag it down. Mark Krause has a leadoff single with a man at first and nobody out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Santana making his debut in Atlanta. Off to a great start. He has thrown 55 pitches and 43 strikes. Of course, he's confident he can be aggressive. The Mets have really gotten off to a bad start offensively, and they have racked up a ton of strikeouts. So leadoff man is aboard. Remember, it's still a 2-0 game. Brandon Morrow has been so dominant, you forget that the Astros are still well within striking distance. Back Dominguez hits a high, lazy fly ball into center. Rasmus makes the catch, 1 down. Last inning, Morrow gave up a leadoff walk to Dexter Fowler and then a 1-out single to Castro, but he was able to strike out Altuve and Chris Carter to end the threat. Morrow started out with a great fastball tonight, as high as 98 miles an hour, and then he has that wipeout slider. But the little icing on the cake has been that split change.
Yeah, that's been hard. He's thrown it hard and he's got great movement on it. Now, he might get fined in kangaroo court because he gave up a hit to the leadoff batter here. Not because of the leadoff batter of the inning. He gave up the first hit of the season to that player.
Mark Krause, his first hit after an 0-for-15 start.
And that's how the players stick together for 6 months. They do little things like that, a little kangaroo court fine.
Bo Porter, the manager, continues to stand on the opposite end of the dugout than we're used to seeing most of the skippers. They like to stay down toward the home plate side. Off the plate, 2 balls and a strike.
Stay down there with their bench coach and with their pitching coach. And I guess while the offense is hitting, he wants to get a better view of his team.
Well, and you want to stay close to the umpire so you can holler at him every once in a while. There's a strike right on the corner. Nice job by Navarro. Well, he received that ball very well. Jerry Lane has been consistent. If you're just tuning in and saying, well, those balls are outside, well, they've been strikes all night. 8 strikeouts for Morrow. Make it 9. Grossman strikes out. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Racking up the Ks for sure. He's just 2 behind Mark Burley's season high.
How about that? First 3 batters, been 2 in every inning.
Mark Burley punched out 11 Rays in his first start of the season. He's off to a great start. He's 2-0 with an ERA of 0.64. He's probably thinking, yeah, I got 11 punch outs. What's the big deal about mono?
Took him almost 9 innings to get his. We're only in the 5th.
Contrasting styles, to be sure, and that's the beauty of baseball, isn't it? Mark Burley can strike out 11 and couldn't puff your lip from 50 feet if he hit you in the middle of the mouth. But he was dominant against the Rays. 8 called strike threes.
Well, he had 3 pitches working that day, just like Brandon has 3 working tonight.
Number 9 hitter is Jonathan Villar. He's a switch hitter batting left-handed against Morrow. He struck out on a nasty slider to end the 3rd. There's quite a turnaround as R.A. Dickey will start tomorrow. You deal with the 98-mile-an-hour fastball of Morrow and the 80-mile-an-hour knuckleball of Dickey.
Hey, that can give you trouble. You know, you and I were talking about if they were going to put somebody in between Morrow and McGowan, Mark Burley would be the perfect guy. I think the Blue Jays did better with this guy right here, putting him in between. You know you're going to go deep into the game.
VR stays alive. That one was right off the end of the bat. Dustin McGowan will open things up on Friday night against the Orioles. So his spot was pushed back. Casey Jansen threw off the mound today. He is getting closer to leaving the ball club and going out to get some work in the minors.
He's going to have one more side session. If all goes well, he'll go out on a rehab assignment.
Bouncing ball. Torres has to charge on the short hop in time, and the inning is over. Brandon Morrow leaves another base runner as the Astros have been baffled by Morrow so far. Manager John Gibbons joins the Jeff Blair Show every Thursday morning, only on Sportsnet 590, The Fan. You can hear it right from the skipper of the Blue Jays on 590 The Fan, Jerry Howard and Joe Siddle. The radio voice, that's Tom Young, the producer in the background, helping out Jerry and Joe. Always delivering their dulcet tones over the radio airwaves.
Well, I got something for you. You got my Brett Strom trivia last night. I got another one for you while we got a second. Blue Jays have had 3 switch-hitting catchers in their organization history. They're all in the house tonight. You know?
Alan Ashby.
Got it.
3 switch-hitting catchers.
In the life of the Blue Jays.
Okay.
There's one.
There's one. The Blue Jays. Who are the switch-hitting catchers?
The active catcher right now.
Deanna Navarro, of course.
Yep.
And the third one. There's a bouncing ball. Melky Cabrera. He's got his nightly hit. His hit streak extends to 9 straight to start the season. Who's the third one? Oh, of course. Greg's on.
All in the house tonight.
All in the house.
Just 3 in their history. I thought there would have been more switch-hitting catchers.
No, it's tough. Have a switch-hitting catcher is quite an asset, of course. Ted Simmons comes to mind, the Milwaukee Brewers and St. Louis Cardinals. He was a terrific power-hitting, switch-hitting catcher. Meiser Astros takes one downstairs. Meiser's 1 for 2, scored a run in the first. Melky Cabrera, we mentioned, he extends his hit streak to 9 straight.
Well, I'd like to get a couple more runs here. We have seen John Gibbons be very aggressive in these situations. Play hit and run with a hot hitter.
There he goes. Swung on and missed, and Castro couldn't make the throw. Didn't get a good grip on the baseball, and Mr. Tabu were all over that. They were playing hit and run for sure.
Yeah, he knows that they're going to need some more runs. 2 in the first inning. They've been shut out ever since. You've got a hot hitter at the plate. You've got some RBI guys coming up. Get that guy in the scoring position. It works out for the Blue Jays when Castro can't come up with the ball. Now watch Astros go to work here.
First steal of the season for Cabrera. Astros got to think about pulling the ball on the ground. Out in front. It's fooled by that pitch. It's 1-2. Leadoff single by Cabrera, moves into scoring position with that stolen base. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. They scored their 2 runs in the first. Boy, this is where Astros really has to grind in this at bat. You've got to put the ball in play. Harrell's not a strikeout pitcher. He has a couple of strikeouts this evening. He's going to give you something down in the zone, a pitch that you should be able to pull to the right side. Fouls it off. Got Bautista on deck. Of course, Bautista is a run producer. He'd love to come to the plate with a man at third, less than 2 outs.
Sure. I'd take the first at bat that Meiser had tonight. It was a pitch that was away, and he went right with it, singling in the left field. Came around to score on a double by Jose.
Base hit up the middle. Cabrera's being waved around. Fowler comes up throwing, and the ball is late. Meiser delivers. Cabrera scores. That's a big 3rd run for the Jays.
Well, did you see Astros? Even with 2 strikes, he was trying to get the ball through the middle or pull it. Watch how that top hand really comes over the barrel of the bat to get on top of that one, at least pull it, get that guy over to third base. He's even better. Watch the top hand. See that? That's how you get that ball up the middle or to the right side. Cashes in. Melky Cabrera from second.
First RBI of the season for Astros. His big insurance run here in the 5th. Cabrera, leadoff single, stolen base, and scores on the single to center. Bautista 1 for 2, RBI and a run scored. Interesting now if you're Bautista. You remember the hit you got in the first inning was a sinking fastball away. So now Bautista's not really sure if Harrell was trying to pitch him away or if he made a mistake.
If he went up and watched the film, I think he would figure out that that was a mistake. They were trying to jam him all the way, and he missed his spot. And hitters will do that. They will go up and watch their at-bats in between innings when they're not hitting.
And then if you look at the defense on the infield, That's got to reinforce the thought that they're going to try to pitch you inside.
So look for that pitch. See how far you can hit it.
Breaking ball away. Veteran Jerome Williams starts to loosen up for Houston. Blue Jays have 3 runs on 7 hits. Astros with a pair of hits. Meiser has scored a run and driven in a run. John Gibbons is riding the hot hand of Astros.
Put him in a good spot. Number 2 behind Cabrera and in front of Jose Bautista. And you're right. You got a bunch of hot hitters together. And nobody hotter than this guy or Melky Cabrera.
Okay, Mr. Tapper, you called the hit and run. Started this inning. Bautista, a 3-0 count. He's going to get the green light.
Yeah.
But where is Harrell going to pitch him?
Fastball in. And if you're in the second deck, be aware in left center, because that's where he's shooting for.
Castro with the side, sets up away and missed the outside edge. Bautista takes a walk. That's his 10th of the season. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Is that good? 529? Pretty good start to the season. Wow. He's got 34 at bats. He has an OPS of 1.156. Emilio Bonifacio. Unfortunately, he got off to a poor start a year ago with the Jays.
Went to Kansas City, did a pretty good job, and then they let him go. Cubs picked him up for nothing.
Blue Jays have scored a run here in the 5th. Pitching coach Brett Strom taking the slow walk out to the mound. Still nobody out. Runners at first and second. Edwin Encarnacion has gone 0 for 2 so far with a strikeout.
I think that Harrell's going to try and jump ahead of Edwin here. 4 straight balls to Bautista. Here are the signs from the bench coach Dave Tremblay to the infield. Best pitch to hit might be this first one right here.
Edwin Encarnacion, we mentioned 0 for 2. You can bet he's locked and loaded for this first pitch of this at bat. A run in this inning. A run on 2 hits. Bautista walk. Still nobody out. Off the plate outside. Two and 0.
He had a rough year last year. We were talking about Lucas Harrell, 17 losses. He also led the American League in walks. And right now he has lost the strike zone.
He walked 88 a year ago, and he finds the outside corner. He gave up 2 runs in the first inning, 2 runs on 3 hits. Bautista and Lynn with the RBIs. Historis has driven in the run here in the 5th. Off the end of the bat. Krause flips to Harrell, and Encarnacion's retired. Runners move up. Lucas Harrell started out with the White Sox, and even with the Astros prior to last season when they were in the National League, he pitched fairly well. But you see, boy, since the Astros have moved to the American League, it's been a different story for Harrell.
I think all it has to do is the designated hitter. The lineups are a lot deeper in the American League, smaller ballparks. National League, you can navigate through that pitcher spot in the batting order. You've got great numbers. 382 earned run average in the National League.
So Adam Lind is batting against the drawn-in infield. And now they're going to put him on and set up the double play. Initially, they look like they're going to pitch to him, but that didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. You got a ground ball pitcher on the mound. And a guy, Navarro, if he hits a ground ball, you got a good chance of turning a double play. So this is the call right here. It's the right move.
Navarro has a double in 2 trips. He's also driven in 5 runs so far. This is a tough lineup for the Astros to work their way through, and they're not hitting on all cylinders just yet. So Lind will take the free pass. That's the 3rd walk issued by Harrell, first intentional. And that'll set the table for Deanna Navarro. Navarro has 4 doubles. He hasn't homered yet. Asked for time, and Navarro chance to break it wide open here.
Sit on one of those sinkers, see if you can hit the ball the other way for extra bases.
There it was, right on the outside corner. Navarro drove a line drive up the middle. It went all the way to the wall in center, back in the 4th. A 1-out double.
He's not afraid to hit with 1 strike. I don't think any major league hitter should be afraid to hit with 1 strike.
Much better movement on that pitch, but it moved right out of the strike zone.
Took the first one right on the corner. That time stayed back just a little bit. A couple of grand slams for Navarro.
Ball and strike. Breaking ball downstairs. The Astros infield playing in double play depth.
Now as a hitter, you know the pitcher doesn't want to go 3-1. So he's going to be aggressive, I think, on this pitch right here. You got to figure he's going to catch a lot of the plate. Expand it just a little bit. Think about hitting the ball hard, not far, just hit it hard somewhere.
Jason Castro trying to help Lucas Harrell get through this tough spot. A run in already, bases loaded. The Jays trying to break it wide open here in the bottom of the 5th. On the ground, Dominguez goes to second and throws it into right. 1 run is in. Bautista coming in to score. Looked like a tailor-made double play ball, and you saw Dominguez knew he had a lot of time, but took too much time and airmailed it all the way into right.
And Harrell, the ground ball pitcher, gets his ground ball. Looks like he was going to get out of it. But the wild throw. First error made by Dominguez this year. Watch this one. Sinker down and away. Navarro hits it right at him, and he's got plenty of time, and he throws it over the second baseman.
Navarro was running up the line from home plate to first, and Harrell can't believe it. He got just what he was hoping for. It looked like it was going to be a 5-4-3 double play, and Bo Porter reluctantly will make a pitching change. The Blue Jays have 3 runs here in the bottom of the 5th. Still just 1 out. Jerome Williams into the game to take on Brett Lawrie. 27th when the Blue Jays take on the Boston Red Sox. The game starts at 1:07 p.m. The first 20,000 fans into Rogers Center will receive an R.A. Dickey bobblehead. For tickets, call the Jays at 416-341-1234, or you can always get your tickets online at BlueJays.com. R.A. Dickey will start tomorrow night's series finale. Melky Cabrera got things going with the leadoff single, stole second. Came in to score on Historis' RBI single. Bautista walked. He comes around to score. The veteran Jerome Williams comes out of the bullpen. Williams now 32 years old, a former #1 pick of the San Francisco Giants back in 1999. Adam Lind was walked intentionally. He is at third. Deanna Navarro picks up the RBI with the fielder's choice. He's at first, and Brett Lawrie bats. Runners at the corners and one out. Lawrie got a scouting report from Kevin Seitzer before he stepped in. Waits back and strokes it back over the screen, out of play.
Williams was a starter last year with the Angels and won 9 ball games for Los Angeles. He is now the long man out of the bullpen for the Houston Astros.
Williams was out of the big leagues from 2008 until 2011. Resurfaced again with the Angels in 2011. Pitched in 10 games, 6 starts, went 4-0. This is his third appearance so far this season. Ball and a strike to Lawrie. This is popped up on the infield. Matt Dominguez, the third baseman, makes the catch. 2 down. Dominguez committed the big error that allowed the Blue Jays to score 2. It looked like it could have been an inning-ending double play and gotten Lucas Harrell out of a tough spot. But he threw it over the head of Altuve at second and went into right. Charged with his first error of the season. Kobe Rasmus has been aboard twice. He walked in the second, he walked in the fourth, doubled in the second.
Still some more runs out there for him. And they're standing there 90 feet away, just waiting to score. Williams fastball with some sinking action on it. He'll split it up. A little bit of a breaking ball.
Upstairs. Rasmus is 1 for 5 against Jerome Williams. Lind at third. Navarro at first. Hit on the ground. Altuve to his left gobbles it up. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays scored 3 in their half of the 5th to take a 5-0 lead. Fans, here comes the Home Hardware Cleanup Crew, brought to you by Natura. Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products. Jays Care Community Clubhouse tonight welcomes their 2013 community partners with Jays Care, handling over $2.3 million to the Jays Care community. And they've done a terrific job throughout the past several years, making sure that they do their part to help out kids across Canada. Congratulations to the Jays Care Foundation, as they have done a terrific job of raising money and helping out kids all across Canada. So we move to the top of the 6th inning. Blue Jays have a 5-0 lead. Brandon Morrow has allowed just 2 hits. He has 9 strikeouts.
3 big runs for the Blue Jays last inning. Take a little stress off the pitcher.
Dexter Fowler goes after the first pitch, and he hoops it into left field. The leadoff single. Fowler has reached. He was the first base runner to reach against Morrow back in the 4th when he walked. Fowler's a good pickup. He opened up with a 6-for-12 series against the Yankees, and as we mentioned earlier, then he was struck with a stomach virus. He appeared as a pinch hitter in last night's game, and this is his first start since that Yankee series in Houston.
A home run, a triple, and a couple of doubles already this year for your leadoff hitter.
Alex Presley, high and deep to right. Bautista looking up. Home run, Presley. His second home run of the season is a 2-run shot here in the 6th. Houston's got a little pop. And Morrow left the fastball upstairs, and Presley turned on it.
10 home runs. Coming into this game, Presley really not known as a power hitter. He was trying to get a little bit more power this year, swing a little bit harder. And he gets a ball that's up, and that's exactly what he does. Swing a little bit harder in case you hit it. Drive it right out of the ballpark. And that's why those 3 runs in the bottom of the inning were so huge.
11 home runs now for the Astros. Chicago at the start of play today, the White Sox had 12. That leads the American League. Seattle had 10. Blue Jays have 10. And Houston, now they have 11. Big swing from the catcher, Jason Castro. Castro recorded the first hit of the night against Brandon Morrow back in the 4th inning.
Well, that's one thing that the Blue Jays pitching staff as a whole has done here the first part of the season. They haven't been giving up the home runs.
That's just the 3rd home run they have allowed. Evan Longoria hit a 3-run home run in the opening series at Tampa Bay, and then Brett Gardner hit a solo home run in the Yankee series.
That was a sore spot last year. A lot of home runs given up by the Jays. But they seem to have fixed that this year.
It's a high fly ball to right. Bautista backing up. This carries him just to the edge of the warning track. 1 down. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Acer, official partner of the Toronto Blue Jays. Very important part of our broadcast as it takes you from inning to inning. It shows you the pitches and the consistency of the strike zone. 1 down for the cleanup hitter, Jose Altuve. So far tonight, he's 0 for 2. Had a 3-hit game last night.
You know, there's one thing that the Astros have done a good job of in their history: produce good second basemen. Joe Morgan comes to mind, and Craig Biggio. This guy's a nice player. He's an all-star.
Bounces that breaking ball foul. Another thing that Houston has done better than anybody is they've mined the sandlots of Venezuela. And Altuve comes from Venezuela, from Maracay. But you go back to their history: Freddie Garcia, Melvin Mora, Roberto Perugini, Johan Santana were all found through the Astros Academy in Venezuela.
Was Bobby Abreu part of that also?
Bobby Abreu was a big part of it early on. But just think about coming out of Venezuela with Freddie Garcia, Johan Santana, Bobby Abreu, Melvin Mora.
I'll take my chances with those guys.
Altuve drives this one toward the gap in right center. That's going to get down and go all the way to the wall. Altuve's thinking about 3. He turns it second. Rasmus tried to pick it up and dropped it. Altuve ends up at third base. And he had a triple on his mind from the moment that ball hit his bat.
Ball's been elevated this inning. Now, it was a long half inning when the Blue Jays scored their 3 runs, and Brandon Morrow, sweat might have dried up just a little bit on him. First 3 batters here, 3 of the first 4 batters have hit the ball hard. And Altuve smokes one into the gap for a triple. Astros are bidding to get those 3 runs right back.
Well, Pete Walker took a very deliberate walk to the mound, and this is a twofold trip. He's out to talk tomorrow, and there you see the newest member of the Blue Jays bullpen, Neil Wagner, who was just added to the roster. Wagner has pitched in 2 games in Buffalo and got saves on April 3rd against Rochester and April 6th also against the Red Wings. So he is back in the big leagues to provide some depth, and he had a good spring. He threw the ball well. He's got a power arm, of course.
Only reason he didn't make the team, he had an option left.
Blue Jays took 3 pitchers that were out of options, and because of that, Wagner started out in Buffalo. It's a triple for Altuve, his first of the season. Chris Carter has struck out both times he's faced Morrow tonight. Ball and a strike. 5-2 game. That's the score of the ball game last night. Breaking ball, gloved by Laura. He thought about coming home, but he goes across the diamond. He looked at Altuve, but because he backhanded it, Altuve got a good break on contact, and the smart play was to get the out at first.
Yeah, if it was the 9th inning of a 1-run ball game, he'll try and make that play. But you're right, that's the smart play right there. Help the team with the glove and make sure you get an out. When the team gives you an out, get it over at first base. Brandon Morrow certainly likes that.
Yeah, he appreciates the effort, and Carter picks up his first RBI of the season. Now it's a 5-3 Blue Jays lead. Mark Krause picked up his first hit of the season to start the 5th. That snapped an 0 for 15 start. Pulls this one to first. Good play by Encarnacion. The inning is over, but the Astros made it interesting. A 2-run homer and an RBI ground out. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Jays have a 5-3 lead. Rogers Center. Great seats are still available. So make sure you check it out. You can call the Blue Jays at 416-341-1234 or log on to BlueJays.com and inquire about getting season tickets. And when you look at the season schedule, there's some interesting matchups. St. Louis Cardinals will be here first weekend of June. The National League champs are in town. Philadelphia Phillies, they too will be here Wednesday, May 7th and 8th. And there are lots of great American League East rivals. They'll be here all season long, including the Baltimore Orioles and the Boston Red Sox when the Blue Jays return home. Handshakes for Brandon Morrow as he gets out of the 6th inning with a lead intact, so he'll go 6 innings. Allows 3 runs on 5 hits, racked up 9 strikeouts over his first 5 innings. So he is in line for the win. Real strength of this ball club in the early going has been their bullpen, so it'll be up to them.
And they added a big arm today, I think, in Neil Wagner. Give him an extra pitcher down there. They used a couple yesterday.
4 pitchers in that game yesterday: Delabar, Loop, Cecil, and Santos. They allowed just 1 hit and struck out 6. Number 9 hitter is Ryan Goins. He has flied out twice. Off the edge, 2-1. One thing the Blue Jays are going to have to learn, and I think they have to do it collectively as a team, is pick up that killer instinct. When you've got a team like Houston, they're a young team, and they've had an awful season a year ago, 51 wins. But you got them here, you got them down, you got to put them away.
Certainly can't let them back into a ball game.
Yeah, they crept right back into this game, and Mara was breezing 5-0 through 5, and then leadoff single, 2-run homer, and all of a sudden it's a brand new ball game.
And that's just playing with urgency from the first pitch of the game to the last pitch of the game. Just play with a little urgency, a little intensity.
Inside, it's a full count. Ball 4, leadoff walk for Ryan Goins. Well, if you just check it in, Brandon Morrow got off to a terrific start. He struck out the side in the first, and that set the tone for the first 5 innings.
And it looked like something special was going to happen here tonight with Brandon Morrow. He had his fastball working. It was touching in the high 90s. He had the curveball working. He had a splitter at great depth. He also had great command control. Thrown it where he wanted to, got a lot of strikeouts, and they weren't even coming close to getting base hits early on. In that last inning, the fastball started creeping up. The ball started going a little bit higher in the strike zone. The Astros, you're in the major leagues. These guys come in. I don't care what the record is, what the past performance is. They're big league hitters. You make a mistake, they're going to hit the ball hard.
9 strikeouts for Morrow. First time he's had 9 strikeouts since April 28th of the 2012 season, when he punched out 9 Mariners in a 7-0 win. Melky Cabrera pulls it foul. Cabrera had a leadoff single in the 5th, stole second, and scored on the RBI single by Astros. His hit streak to 9 straight to start the season. Goes after a tough pitch and stays alive.
And that's what happens when you're hot, like Melky Cabrera is. You're not afraid to hit 0-1, 0-2. They throw you a good pitch, you just flick the bat at it, foul it off, keep the bat alive.
Of course, Cabrera hit his 4th home run in as many games last night, to become just the 3rd active player to do that while leading off in each of those 4 games. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Checked his swing. Didn't go around, according to Mike Estabrook, down at third. The other two leadoff hitters who homered in 4 straight games: Coco Crisp in April last year for Oakland, and Jose Bautista in September of 2009, homered in 4 straight games as the leadoff hitter.
Yeah, active players playing right now that have done that. Jose, a little bit of a surprise on that list. But that's when he was a leadoff hitter. Those days are over.
Cabrera strikes out. Good pitch down and in. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. He's got an update for us. Boy, Miami jumped all over Jordan Zimmerman in that game. The starter for the Nationals went 1 2/3, give up 7 hits and 5 earned runs. The Marlins have really been swinging the bats coming out of the chute.
Zimmerman missed a start this week, I believe, with a flu.
Yeah.
It pushed him back.
I don't think he's over it.
It doesn't look like it, does it?
Miser Astros pitch out. They thought the hit and run was on again, but nothing doing. The Blue Jays put the hit and run on with Astros back in the 5th. That led to the stolen base by Cabrera. Jason Castro, the catcher, couldn't get a grip on the ball, never made a throw. There's a snap throw, and he got him. And you can see that Tim Leeper called for the manager right away.
Yeah.
He signaled for John Gibbons as soon as the umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt, called Goins out at first base, and Goins is not leaving, and Gibbons was hailed by his first base coach, said, hey, come on out here and talk about this one.
Yeah, right to the phone goes the bench coach DeMarlo Hale to get the signal from inside if this is going to be challenged or not. I find it so interesting. I mean, play just stops in this now. Here it is one more time, a quick snap throw. Goins tries to get back to the outside part of the bag.
He beat it.
He beat it.
Yeah.
This is going to be challenged, and I think everybody in the ballpark knows that.
Now, DeMarlo Hale just got the word from Salvatierra. Looks like they're not going to appeal it. Dan Goins has left the bag.
He looks safe.
Yeah, he sure did. By the replay we had, he certainly looked safe. But they didn't appeal it.
They might, can they go back now?
No do-overs.
No do-over. It looked like he got his fingers right to the back part of that bag.
Yeah, and certainly by the reaction of the first base coach, it looked like he was safe. Watch the tag by Krause.
On the bag?
Yeah.
He's safe.
Looked safe, didn't he? Well, this is a situation that's going to change all throughout the course of the summer as they fine-tune the process. Goins picked off after getting the walk. Cabrera struck out, and now Jerome Williams delivers a strike. It's 2-1 to Meiser Asturias.
Anyway, I was saying that play just stops. Everybody just stops in their tracks. The runner doesn't leave. Coach comes out, walks while they go and look at it again.
Yeah, I think that's something that has to be addressed. I think if you're a manager or coach in the dugout, you have a sense for whether the call is right or not from the dugout. And then certainly your coaches and the players can tell you as well. I would like to see them eliminate the club's ability to look at the replay inside. Keep it on the field. I like the fact that you can review it, but I think the review is for just the egregious missed calls. I don't think you should be able to argue every little tiny call because you can break it down in super slow motion. I think the egregious calls that are missed on the field should be something you could review.
Well, just to walk out there and take your time and, hey, how you doing? What's up? While you're waiting to get confirmation inside it. The flow of the game, I think, is just really upset.
Yeah, and that has been a goal of baseball over the last several years, is to cut down the pace of the game and try to keep it moving. But as baseball has said all along, this is an ongoing process of fine-tuning. Jose Bautista has walked again. He now has 10 walks. And this is 9 games, and that's a bullet off the glove of Dominguez into left field. Astros goes around second. He stops there. Bautista hit it hard to the backhand side of the third baseman. Dominguez has been charged with an error already tonight. It's a second error for Dominguez. He had 16 errors all season a year ago.
He is on that line also with Bautista at the plate. That ball hooking. He goes down to get it. You can see it just hits that turf and stays down right underneath the glove. And that pickoff play at first base now, huge.
Brian Goins had a leadoff walk. He was picked off by Jerome Williams. Now there are 2 outs for Edwin Encarnacion.
Astros ended up walking, and now Bautista gets on through the air.
Jason Castro with the defense, should there be a double steal attempt here. I doubt that's going to happen with Encarnacion at the plate. Edwin has gone 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He's got to bail out on that up and in fastball.
For that ball over the plate, it looked like it might have been a breaking ball that got away from Williams. Edwin was so good in these situations last year, driving in big runs for the Blue Jays.
Tough pitch down and away. The breaking ball evens the count at a ball and a strike. Astros scored 3 runs in the top half of this inning. They made it a 5-3 ball game. Fouled off at the plate. 1-2. Blue Jays so far tonight just 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They've had opportunities all night long to bust it wide open. So far in this ball game, they've stranded 6. 2 more on base here in the bottom of the 6th. Tough pitch. Williams wanted it right at the bottom of the strike zone.
That was the same pitch that Edwin struck out on to end the 3rd inning. A fastball right at the knees.
Williams hurt himself. He called the catcher out after that last pitch. He threw the pitch and then waved for the catcher to come out, and now the manager, the pitching coach, and trainer are all out to the mound, and this is not good for Jerome Williams of the Astros.
Watch this. Fastball reaches back for a little something extra. He says, hold on just a second. Come here.
Yeah. He called the catcher out, called the trainer out, and he's going to leave this game. Watch the motion as he catches the ball and said, you know what? That didn't feel good. Unfortunate situation for a veteran pitcher, and he knew something was wrong. Boy, we've seen a lot of this. Matt Moore left his start last time out for Tampa Bay, and he subsequently has been placed on the DL. Now Williams will leave the ball game after throwing that last pitch.
David Robertson threw a pitch here and actually got a save against the Blue Jays, and the next day went on the disabled list.
With a groin injury, he is on the DL. Looks like Josh an apparent injury. There'll be a pitching change when we come back. We're in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. The Blue Jays holding on to a 2-run lead. Jose Altuve was signed by the Houston Astros and developed as an outstanding second baseman. And as Pat mentioned earlier, you go back to the days of Joe Morgan and, of course, later on Craig Biggio. But Biggio retired, played his last game September 30th, 2007. And when you think about the Hall of Fame voting this past season, 2014, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, teammates with Atlanta, went in. Frank Thomas made it with 83.7. And then Craig Biggio just missed by a vote of going into the Hall of Fame. And you just wonder if he's going to get in next year, or maybe as some of these younger players come out, and he might have missed his opportunity. But I expect one day he will go into the Hall of Fame, and well deserved.
Astros all-time leader in hits with 3,060 runs, over 1,800 games, over 2,800 games, played 20 seasons with the Astros. Yeah, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He just missed out. Josh Zeid is now into the ball game. We saw him yesterday in the game. Good fastball. Nice little changeup in a slider. He got all the pitches he needed to get ready for this at bat.
Zeid inherits a 2-2 count to Edwin Encarnacion, and he needs one pitch to end the inning. So Jerome Williams leaves with an apparent injury. The Blue Jays strand a pair will go to the 7th. Jays have a 5-3 lead. Neil Wagner will make his season debut when we come back. Canada and Little League Canada. London, Ontario will be the site May 30th through June 1st at Centerfield Sports. The instructors include Roberto Alomar, George Bell, Devon White, Lloyd Mosby, and Dwayne Ward. Visit BlueJays.com/Baseball Academy for more information. The Toronto Blue Jays are proud supporters of amateur baseball across Canada. The Blue Jays Honda Super Camp is always very popular, and Dwayne Ward does a great job of coordinating those. Neil Wagner in for his first appearance of the 2014 season. A year ago, he appeared in 36 games for the Jays.
Great earned run average, 379, and about 8 strikeouts per 9 innings for Wagner. 36 games, 38 innings, 33 strikeouts. Power arm, 95 plus with a fastball and a great split.
He delivers a strike to the third baseman, Matt Dominguez. Dominguez had a rough night in the field. He has committed 2 errors. He's 0 for 2 at the plate.
John Gibbons was talking earlier this afternoon about why Neil Wagner instead of a long man possibly coming up for the bullpen. He says, you know, we don't need more innings out of our bullpen, but what I really want is some firepower, especially late in the ball game, and Neil certainly gives that. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's up here to get right-handed batters out.
Well, I think the Blue Jays really saw how that turnaround helped them last year. In the past, they had back end of the bullpen guys that were sinker ball pitchers, not power pitchers, but now with the addition of Delabar coming on, Cecil moving so effectively, Santos back to health, Then you bring in an arm like Wagner, you can really eliminate those late inning rallies.
He's very deceptive too, as you see. Delabar is probably available tonight. He just threw 10 pitches last night. Neal's not a big guy, but he generates a lot of power with his lower half.
Wagner is now 30 years old. He doesn't have a full season of Major League service under his belt. He made it to the big leagues for just 6 games in 2011 with Oakland. Pitched a total of 5 innings. Last year, as we mentioned, he had 36 appearances, a total of 38 innings. Full count. Robbie Grossman is on deck. Houston 3 runs on 5 hits. The Jays 5 runs on 7 hits. Fouled back out of play. If there is one concern about Wagner, it is the pitches. He has good stuff, and it's kind of like Morrow early in his career, how his stuff is so good they couldn't square it up, but he couldn't put them away. They'd foul off a lot of pitches, and that would elevate his pitch count.
And he gets a lot of strikeouts. And you end up throwing a lot of pitches into 1 inning.
Last year, against his former team, the Oakland Athletics, he threw 45 pitches in 2 innings of work. He had another 39 pitch outing over 2 innings, 34 and 29, all of those 2 inning stints. A lot of pitches in a short period of time. 3-2 pitch, another foul out of play.
This is exactly what you were talking about right here. Next pitch will be number 10 to the first batter.
Neal had 6 appearances at 2 innings each. This is popped up over near the Astros dugout. Navarro tosses the mask aside, and he makes the catch. 10 pitches to retire the first batter. Robbie Grossman will step in to face Wagner. Grossman, a left fielder, has grounded out and struck him. He was the 9th strikeout victim of Brandon Morrow in the 5th inning, and the Astros haven't struck out since. That came with 1 out in the 5th. And Morrow ran into trouble in the 6th, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits. Wagner in to work the 7th.
Some power right there, right? 97. If he has quick innings, maybe they can sneak 2 innings out of him.
Well, they'd love to do that. Blue Jays won't have an off day till next Monday on the road. They used 4 relievers in last night's game: Delabar, Loop, Cecil, and Santos. Loop threw 26 pitches in his inning of work. Cecil 16. Santos will be available. He threw 14. Same for Delabar. He tossed 10. But those are the things managers have to deal with as the game is going on. Okay, where are we? You probably don't want to use Luke tonight. Delabar, he's got to be available, you would think. Cecil, probably not. Robbie Grossman caught looking at strike 3. Wagner gets the first 2 he faces here in the 7th.
Well, one thing that advantage for the Blue Jays, they have R.A. Dickey throwing tomorrow, and they're counting on him. You might not need those back end guys tomorrow.
Well, and that's why they split up Brandon Morrow and Dustin McGowan and put Dickey in between. Dickey's reliable. Another 200 inning season a year ago. You hope that he can give you 7, maybe 8 innings. Give the bullpen a break. Number 9 hitter is Jonathan Villar. He takes a strike. Blue Jays will wrap up this homestand with a series finale game tomorrow night. Then go to Baltimore for 3 over the weekend. Monday will be an off day spent in Minneapolis. We'll probably go swimming or play golf on the off day in Minneapolis. Probably nice that day. Huh?
Ice fishing. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe snowmobiling.
We can go ice climbing. 0-2, 2 outs. Neil Wagner punctuates his inning of work. Couple of strikeouts. The Astros are down in order. 3 up, 3 down. Neil Wagner, in his first appearance of the 2014, makes a statement. 2 strikeouts. The Astros have struck out 11 times so far tonight. Brett Laurie is scheduled to bat third this inning. It'll be Lyndon, Navarro, and Laurie. Brett is 0 for 3 so far with a strikeout. He and Kevin Seitzer have an ongoing conversation. Seitzer works with all of his hitters, and Laurie is describing what he's looking for from Josh Zide, the new pitcher.
A good breaking ball. We saw a good breaking ball to end the at-bat to Edwin Encarnacion, and you can see, hey, right over the top, he's going to throw you a curveball.
Let me ask you, you were a good hitter in your playing days. Did you lack a lot of information before you went to the plate, or did it cloud your mind?
You know, I wanted some information. I didn't want too much information. It wasn't like it is now. I mean, there's so much information. But you know what I did? I really trusted my instincts. I mean, nobody could tell me what a guy threw after I faced him. I knew. I knew what he was going to do to me. I knew what his breaking ball looked like. So the trust was the experience you gain facing the guy.
Throws out Lynn. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 7th. We've just been given some relatively good news regarding Jerome Williams. The Astros relief pitcher had left the ball game with an apparent right groin strain. So report of the manager is probably pleased that it's not arm related. Kind of the same thing that happened to David Robertson here. When we saw him last pitch, he was on the DL with a strained groin.
Boy, pitchers who use their legs, and you push off that mound, if you don't have it, if you've got a little bit of a pulled muscle, you got to go right to the disabled list.
Johnner Navarro, a little flare behind shortstop, off the glove of BR. Navarro picks up his second hit of the night. He's 2 for 4, picked up an RBI in the 5th with a fielder's choice.
Just keep swinging it. Right there, hits are falling in. VR thought he had that one tracked down. and only had it go right off his glove. He's jammed, and he bloops it out into short left field, and it falls safely for another hit.
Just off the edge of his glove. He was a little bit late in breaking. Like he didn't get a real good read off the bat, but he dove and got a piece of it. Went out single for Navarro. Hit and run is on, and there's the throw to second, and Navarro has a stolen base. Deanna Navarro with the stolen base. He wants to pick up the bag for a souvenir. How about that? And the crowd, they recognize what happened.
You know what? We say it all the time. You come to the ballpark and you see things you never thought you would see.
Navarro, that's his 11th Major League stolen base.
And how many times has it been thrown out?
10.
So the crowd is going crazy.
First stolen base since 2009. But that was cool. He reached down as if he's going to pull it out of the ground.
First of all, it is a hit and run, and Laurie swings through it. Advantage right here as the ball sails on Castro, and that allows Navarro to slide in with a nifty slide.
11th Major League stolen base. Ball and a strike. Way outside.
Here's the slide. You want to get away from that tag to the inside, and then you reach your hand out there and just hold on for dear life.
Guys can have fun in this game too, can't they? 2-1. Laurie hits it high and deep to left. Grossman back at the wall. Home run, Brett Laurie.
You know, Buck, we had a shot of Brett Laurie talking to the hitting coach, Kevin Seitzer. They were talking about the breaking ball. I don't know if they were saying you can see it out of his hand. Boy, nobody happier than Brett Laurie and Kevin Seitzer. And what does he get? He gets a breaking ball from the pitcher, and he knocks it out of here for his first home run.
And Melky says, "You are back." They gave him the silent treatment, and now they're all on their feet to congratulate Brett Laurie.
Oh, that's a good sign right there. Good feeling, too.
Everybody knows how hard he was trying, coming up with a good stroke, and that'll get him going. Hopefully that'll be the swing that got it all started.
They put something behind it, put some work into it, thinking about it, talking about it with his hitting coach. The other players are talking about the curveball, and wouldn't you know it, he gets a curveball, knocks it out of here. Here it is again right here before the inning. Hey, he's going to throw you a curveball. And Brett is doing all the talking here, telling her, I can see it. I can see it out of his hand. He spins it up there. Whatever it is that he's telling her. And then here's the pitch. Breaking ball, see ya.
Well, he was able to hit it, even though it was a hanger, because he was looking for it. And it stayed on the inside part of the plate. He didn't get so anxious. He anticipated an off-speed pitch, so he's not as aggressive. No stride whatsoever. Uses his hands. He's strong enough.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to create all the power with his body.
Just use your hands.
Brett had a similar start to his season a year ago. He went through a real tough stretch of about 8 games, and then he put together a 7-game hit streak against the Yankees and the Red Sox, in which he hits 3 home runs during that hit streak. Kobe Rasmus fouled it back into the upper deck.
Well, let's hope for a same type of hot streak on Brett Laurie.
Going to be a good feeling just to be able to contribute, and that's all he wants to do. Let me help, you know. Team is struggling overall with the bats. And Rasmus is having quite a battle here with Josh Zion.
He's getting closer and closer to us up here. There's about 4 of them that he's hit up here to the 4th deck. Get your glove, Scotty.
Blue Jays 7 runs on 9 hits. Downstairs, it's 2-2. Wouldn't you love to hear that conversation? Rasmus up the middle, Altuve near the bag, throws him out. Nice play by the second baseman.
They were still talking about that curveball. You can see Brett Lawrie's action that he's talking about that hook. And now Navarro, and he throws a spiked curve, meaning the knuckle, the finger. That's exactly what Navarro's talking about right there. You can see the index finger on top of the baseball. And they must be able to see it when he's getting ready to throw it.
Whatever it takes, any edge you can gain. Ryan Goins is 0 for 2 so far. He walked, but then was picked off back in the 6th inning. Jerome Williams picked him off with a quick snap throw to first.
There are pitchers who do that. They throw a certain type of breaking ball, and you can see it in their hand when they're ready to let it go.
That was always interesting, and I was the type of hitter, I needed all the help I could get. But when you would see something, and you might be able to see it when no one else can, just the difference in how much of the bare hand is exposed out of the glove. Dennis Leonard, who was the big right-hander in Kansas City, I caught him for years, but I could always see the heel of his hand when he was throwing a fastball, and he would jam his hand back into the glove when he was throwing a breaking ball.
When he was in the windup as he started.
Goins is caught looking at strike 3, but the Blue Jays get a pair of runs. Brett Lawrie goes deep for the first time this year. He hits a breaking ball over the wall in left center. The Blue Jays have a 7-3 lead as we head to the 8th. Brought to you by the 2014 Honda CR-V. Honda, proud to be the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Good sign right here. Curveball. Brett Lawrie is going to let loose right here. Home run number 1 on the season. 2 more big runs for the Blue Jays. RBIs 2 and 3 on the season for Brett Lawrie. That's a good sign when he's driving a ball like that.
They gave him the silent treatment when he first got back to the dugout, but they couldn't resist. They all congratulate him. They know how intense he is, how much he wants to help out his ball club, and he did just that. That was a big 2-run home run to expand their lead. Ryan Goins moves from short to second. Jonathan Diaz is into the game for Meiser Astros. Neil Wagner in his second inning of work. had a 3 up, 3 down 7th inning with a couple of strikeouts. Wagner just rejoined the Blue Jays, called up from AAA Buffalo. Marcus Walden did not appear in a ball game, and he was sent back to AAA. Wagner has a couple of saves already with the Bisons.
Well rested.
Yeah. I think he last pitched 3 days ago. Dexter Fowler checks his swing and fouls it back.
But we'll watch his pitch count here tonight, and that's why you see Cecil and Delabar warming up. Don't want to extend them a little bit too far as you see the two All-Stars warming up.
Well, this time of the year, you have to be very prudent with how you use your bullpen. Guys aren't really in mid-season form yet, obviously just coming out of spring training. So you want to make sure you give them proper rest and get them into a good groove and get their season off and running on the right foot.
And John Gibbons is not going to extend them like some of the games that you were talking about that Wagner had last year, where he threw 40 pitches in an outing.
He had an extended at bat to retire Matt Dominguez, the leadoff man he faced in the 7th. He threw 10 pitches to Dominguez. Glove by Goins. John Gibbons looks like a genius. He switches Goins from short to second, and he makes a nice play on the first batter here in the 8th.
He really likes him over there at second base. Thinks he can be an outstanding defensive second baseman. He gets good jumps, good reads off the bat. Takes a couple of steps to his left on that breaking ball, and gets the first out.
Good play moving across the diamond. Alex Presley homered in the 6th. Drove in the first 2 runs for the Astros, part of a 3-run 6th inning. Presley with a pair of home runs so far. Wagner delivers a strike. Strike 2, same spot, went right back and caught the outside corner.
Why not?
If you're just joining us, Brandon Morrow started and got off to a terrific start. Retired the first 9 batters he faced tonight, striking out 6 of them, including striking out the side in the first. Looked like he was on his way to something special, and it was a very dominant 5 innings. Had 9 strikeouts over 5 innings. Dexter Fowler reached base with a walk in the 4th and had a leadoff single in the 6th. That set up Alex Presley's 2-run home run. Chris Carter would drive in the 3rd run with a ground out to 3rd base. Here's another battle we talked about earlier, how hitters will spoil a lot of good pitches. You can see all of his pitches right on the outer edges of the strike zone, up and away.
We might see the splitter right here to try and finish off this at bat. He's got a good one. He throws it hard.
There's a pop-up shallow left field. Laurie ranging back easily makes the grab. Wagner has retired all 5 he's faced tonight. Neil Wagner, a very effective addition to this bullpen. Give him a power on. Stabilize the back end of the ball game. Blue Jays still haven't hit full stride as far as their starters pitching consistently deep into a ball game. Tomorrow goes 6 innings tonight, 5 hits, and the way it looked like he was going to throw a no-hitter, shutout. maybe rack up 15 strikeouts tonight. He had great stuff.
Something special early on, but becomes the third pitcher for the Blue Jays, third starter to go 6 innings this year. When you talk about a little inconsistency in the depth and the length that the starters have given the Jays so far.
The gold standard that most pitching coaches would love to see is 7 innings, 21 outs. You get 21 outs a night from your starter, you're going to win a lot of games. What that means, obviously, is first and foremost the starter is pitching well, but your bullpen is going to be rested, and if John Gibbons can get that bullpen proper rest, they're going to be dominant.
He had to cover a few innings last night. 3 2/3 out of the pen last night.
Three balls in his strike. Jason Castro, the catcher, batting third. He's 1 for 3. He's late on that fastball. That last heater was 96. Full count, 2 outs. Got it. What a first outing for Neil Wagner. 6 up, 6 down. He strikes out 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Jays have a 7-3 lead. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong. The future Blue Jays are just across the border in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bisons will take on the Pawtucket Red Sox April 10th through the 13th. Then they'll come back to town to take on the Louisville Bats. That'll start April 26th and run through the 29th. So make sure you log on to bisons.com to order your tickets to watch the AAA Buffalo Bisons. Not that far away. Great opportunity to see some of the younger players in the Blue Jays system. Maybe that guy one day will be a Buffalo Bison, have a chance to live out his dreams of playing big league baseball.
They should have a good season. They've got a good pitching staff right now, starting staff for them. They've been up and down from the big leagues in the past, a lot of those guys. So they should have success.
Top of the order for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Cabrera, then Jonathan Diaz, who has come in defensively, and Jose Bautista. Josh Zeid came in the ballgame in the 6th. He threw 1 pitch to strike out Edwin Encarnacion. Jerome Williams had to leave, and we've been informed that he left the ballgame with a right groin strain. There's a strike. It's 1-1 to Melky Cabrera. That single back in the 5th extended his hit streak to 9 straight games to start the season. That's got to be a good feeling, huh? Have a 9-game hit streak to start the season, give you a little cushion.
I would have no idea what that felt like. But you're right. 9-game hitting streak. Stay hot.
Fouled out of play. You're much too modest, Mr. Tabler. I went back and pulled some numbers over your career. I was interested in the month of April, talking about guys getting off to good starts and other guys slumping. I went back and looked at your 86 season. You hit .326, best year offensively of your career. But you got off to a great start in April. Melky Cabrera hits it off the glove of Mark Naus. Krause got a piece of it, but it goes into right field. It'll be a base hit for Cabrera. He has a 2-hit night. But I want to finish that thought. You hit .371 in April, and that really got you off and running on that season. But you had to feel great with that much confidence going in for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time when you look up there on the scoreboard, and everybody does it. And you see big numbers like that, it's a confidence builder. It makes you feel good. You look up there and you see something, it feels like you're 9 miles away from getting to 300.
Nobody likes to see the bingo numbers on the scoreboard. 69.
I-42.
I-42. Those are awful numbers.
And it seems like there's no way I'm going to be able to get up to where I want to be at 290, 300, 310, that kind of thing. But young players forget it's such a long season. You have so many at-bats. You can't think about that. You can't worry about it.
Well, you do, and you're right. It's just a long season. But when you get into a game, and like Laurie coming into this game, 29 at-bats.
That's nothing.
3 for 29.
Yeah.
Think about it, and if you play every day in the big leagues, you're going to get to the plate almost 700 times. 29 at-bats. Huh.
And that was the message that his skipper gave him. Hey, don't worry about your place in the lineup. Just go out there and relax and just play the game.
I thought it was really interesting because he said, you know, I told Brett, hey, you're not playing for your job here, but you lighten up. But, of course, that's not the way Brett Laurie is wired. He's going to be fine. Jonathan Diaz takes a strike. Diaz came into the ballgame as a defensive replacement. He took over at shortstop and pushed the starting shortstop to second. Meister-Sturis has had another nice game with the bat. Sturis, a couple of singles, drove in a run, scored 2 runs, and walked. Jonathan Diaz fouls that fastball back to the screen. Josh Zide. An inning and a third so far. Two and two, nobody out. Diaz strikes out. First out of the inning. Kevin Seitzer's had a busy night. He's had more meetings than the UN over there.
Well, he gets to work with every one of these Blue Jay batters. He'll talk to them. He'll talk about tendencies. He'll talk about what the pitcher has in his repertoire. He's got that book there. They're not talking about mechanics or anything like that. They're talking about the approach, what pitchers are going to try and do to him. He's very thorough. He's very detailed. And he's going to do a great job, I think, with the Blue Jay hitters this year.
And he customizes the reports to the individual hitters. Some guys want to know, what does he finish off at bats with? How fast is his breaking ball? What kind of movement does he have on his sinker? Everybody has a different idea of what they want before they go to the plate. We had a great hitting coach in Kansas City, Charlie Lau, of course, who is credited with the development of guys like Joe Rudy, Hal McRae, and George Brett. He did the same thing that Seitzer's doing, but he did it all by memory. He just pick up something from a guy during the game and say, okay, I remember he did this to you back in April. But he too would prepare the hitters, and you know, he'd say, hey, don't look for the slider. You can't hit it.
How simple.
Why are you trying to hit that slider? You can't hit it.
Don't miss the fastball, like we said earlier.
Guidry slider. Just forget about it. He did it all without the film.
Off the end of the bat. Altuve steps on the bag, goes to first. The double play will end the inning. That closes out 8 here at Rogers Center. We'll go to the top of the ninth. Steve Delabar enters the ball game. Neil Wagner, 2 good innings of relief. Ball game on Eastern Ontario. It'll be connected. On West, you'll see Major League Baseball be the Dodgers and the Tigers hooking up. It'll be West and Pacific. And last night, the Dodgers won in the 10th inning on a double by Carl Crawford. He chased home Sean Figgins. Tonight, the pitching matchup, Anibal Sanchez against Josh Beckett. That's coming up right after this ball game. Brett Lawrie hit his first home run of the season, a 2-run homer in the 7th. And now Steve Delabar will take over after Neil Wagner had a perfect 2 innings of relief.
Big right-hander pitched in yesterday's ball game. Got credited with a hold, 2/3 of an inning. One of those outs, a strikeout. He is a lot like Neil Wagner, but a little bit bigger and a little bit more intimidating on that mound. Good fastball and a good splitter.
Jose Altuve, the cleanup hitter. Altuve tripled and scored in the 6th. He was knocked in by Chris Carter on a 5-3 ground out. 2-0. Well, Neil Wagner didn't waste any time having a positive impact on his big league club. He was called up this afternoon. He pitches 2 perfect innings of relief and strikes out 3.
Exactly the reason why they brought him up here. He can give you multiple innings, and to quote John Gibbons, he gives us some firepower late in the ball game.
Delabar missed all the way across the plate inside. It's 3-1. Well, the one thing you don't want from Delabar is to have him throw a lot of pitches. We mentioned he pitched in last night's game, 2/3 of an inning. He threw 10 pitches. There's a strike. It's a full count. The Astros have 12 strikeouts tonight. Their season high already is 15. Right off of Delabar, that goes right to first base, and that hit Delabar flush. He didn't get any leather on that at all. And he's concerned as he's walking around to the back of the mound.
Trying to walk that one off. It looked like it got him in the knee or the thigh. George Poulos out very quickly to take a look at the big right-hander. And in a game like this, you know, it doesn't mean anything. I think they're going to take him out of the game. Watch this one right back through the middle. Yeah, right below the knee. Luckily for the Blue Jays, it ricochets right to Encarnacion, and Delvar can walk off the field.
Well, you can see he's limping, and that's going to leave a mark, and hopefully nothing more than a bruise. Keep your fingers crossed for that. But the ball bounced right to Encarnacion. It's a 1-3 ground out. So we've seen two pitchers leave the mound in the game, Jerome Williams and now Steve Delabar. Esmil Rogers comes out of the bullpen. He'll have plenty of time to get loose. We're in the ninth with one down. Esmil Rogers will make his fourth appearance. He didn't need many pitches to get loose. He last pitched on Sunday in that 6-4 loss to the Yankees. He pitched the ninth inning, retired to side and under, got Jeter, Ellsbury, and McCann. He comes on with one down here in the top of the ninth.
He was up earlier this game, a couple of innings ago. He was throwing in the pen. He was actually throwing in the pen when the Blue Jays were hitting in the bottom of the 8th inning. So it didn't take him long to get loose, get ready.
Chris Carter. He's gone 0 for 3 tonight. He has an RBI with a ground out. He struck out twice. High fly ball into center field. Rasmus has a bead on it in front of the warning truck. 2 down now for a preview of what's coming up next on Connected. Here's Ken Reed and Ivanka Osman. Thank you, Ken. And that's coming up right after this ball game. We're 1 out away. It's now 2 down here in the ninth. Mark Krause picked up his first hit of the season in his second at bat. He's 1 for 3, and there's another strike from Rogers. Strike 2.
Just keep pumping that fastball in there. No free passes. Got to hit their way on.
Blue Jays trying to go up 2 games to none in a 3-game series. Improve their record to 5-4. Esmil Rogers gets in on the hands of Mark Krause, 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Challenge him. Why not?
Tell you what, all night long, the Astros have dealt with some heat. Brandon Morrow threw 98 early in the ball game, and he punched out 9 in his 6 innings of work. Walked just 1. 2-2.
Neil Wagner followed that up with some mid to upper 90s. And now Rogers threw that one 96. Blue Jays got some power in that bullpen.
Checked his swing, and it'll be a full count. There's a liner into center, drops for a base hit. Mark Krause has his 2nd hit of the night. In case you're just joining us, we've had lots of things happen tonight, including this stolen base by Deanna Navarro.
It was a botched hit and run, but Navarro gets the bag. He's fired up. His teammates are fired up. Looked like he was going to yank the bag out a la Ricky Henderson and take it with him.
Jose Reyes, watch this. Here it is. Let me lift it up. I need a souvenir.
That's great stuff.
His 11th career stolen base. His first since 2009. But it's interesting how they put the hit and run on. And then later in that sequence, Brett Laurie would hit his first home run of the season. Fouled back into the upper deck. Blue Jays have out-hit the Astros 10-6. Again tonight, Blue Jays have had plenty of opportunities to bust it wide open, but they've managed just 3 hits with runners in scoring position. 0-2. Way upstairs.
Astros helped them out just a little bit with a big error that led to some runs in the 5th inning for Toronto. Scored 3 big runs off that.
Looked like an inning-ending double play ball, but Matt Dominguez threw it away at second. Dominguez committed 2 errors tonight. A throwing error, that one in the 5th, and then in the 6th he booted a ground ball on the backhand side. He's a terrific defender that had a rough night in the field. One and 2, 2 down. Strike 3 call. Esmiel Rogers strikes out Matt Dominguez to end the game. That's the 14th strikeout by the Astros tonight. Brett Laurie connected for his first home run of the season.
That was good to see right there. I thought Meiser Asturis had a good game. He had that good at bat where he singled back through the middle. Blue Jays played great defense again tonight. They get an outstanding start from Morrow. 9 punch-outs in 6 innings, and the bullpen took them home.
Blue Jays will go for the sweep tomorrow night. R.A. Dickey will go to the mound against the left-hander Dallas Keuchel. Stay tuned, Eastern Ontario. Connected with Ken Breed, Navanka Osmek, Western Pacific. More baseball. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow night.